One of our favorite verses. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Whoever breaks one of the least of the Torah commands and teaches men to do so shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever does and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, unless your righteousness exceed that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 6:20. Matthew 6:20. Lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Now hold on a second. If heaven is not my home after Yeshua rose from the dead and gave us the gift of eternal life in heaven, then why should I lay up treasures in heaven? If I'm going to live forever only on the earth, and when you and I die in the faith, our spirit doesn't go to heaven, well, why would Yeshua tell us to put treasures in a place that we have no access to those treasures?
Who art in heaven.
In other words, if the kingdom is the kingdom of heaven, and Yeshua said in Yochanan 14, where I am, I've gone to prepare a place for you. What place has he gone to? Heaven. So that where I am, you may be also. So that whenever Yeshua is, that's the same place he's preparing for us.
Amen.
And he says, lay up treasures in the grave because you're going to be sleeping and I'll be returning. Is that what it says?
No.
Lay up treasures on the earth because eventually heaven will come to earth. Is that what it says? Now, heaven will come to earth. And one day heaven will come to earth. But until that day, until the Atid Lavo, or eternity, after the Atid Lavo, the age to come, right now, the treasures and the inheritance is in the heavens. Why? Because in heaven, look at verse 20, moth or rust does not destroy, thieves do not break in to steal, for where your treasure is, there shall your heart be. Hello? Where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. Now let me ask you a question. If we laid up treasures in the earth, our heart's going to be in the earth. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
We've got to have a heart for heaven. We've got to have a heart for our home. We have to have a heart for the place that we will inherit. So he says, lay up treasures for yourself in heaven. Where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. So if we lay up treasures on the earth on no heaven doctrine, we don't believe there's a heaven when we die, that the believer goes to heaven, then where is our treasure? In the earth. And if our treasure is in the earth, Yeshua says, make sure your heart is in the earth. Well, the word of Yahweh tells us no. Make sure your heart is above, where Yeshua is seated at the right hand of Yahweh. Colossians 3, 1 through 4. He says we are to reckon ourselves dead. And if you be dead, you are to seek things that are above, where Mashiach is hidden in Yahweh. Colossians 3, 1 through 4. So, if we're going to inherit the earth and the believer doesn't go to heaven, then we ought to be heaping up treasures on the earth where our heart's going to be. And if we ought to be heaping up treasures on the earth, then doesn't the rest of the word of Yahweh says no? The earth is passing away.
Yes.
And the earth is temporal.
Yes.
Amen. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Matityahu 10:7. I'm just getting started, believe me. By the time I finish operating, you're not going to have an excuse left. Matityahu 10:7. As you go, proclaim the reign of heaven has drawn near. The reign of heaven. Yeshua came to bring us the kingdom of heaven. If I've got a kingdom, and it's not the kingdom of heaven, and I can't go to heaven because somebody's teaching me that the believers don't go to heaven, then it's not really the kingdom of heaven, is it? It's the kingdom of a Jewish Messiah who like to talk a lot. If the kingdom he came to give me is the kingdom of heaven, and somehow you tell me I can't get there, then whatever he came to give and whatever I'm hoping for is not going to happen, because I'm not going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. I may inherit something, but I'm not going to inherit heaven. Why couldn't Yeshua say the kingdom of Elohim? Couldn't Yeshua have said the kingdom of eternity? Couldn't Yeshua have said the kingdom of everlasting life? Couldn't Yeshua have said the kingdom of something better? Why did he use the Greek word uranus, which is the Hebrew shamayim? Because he was bringing the reward of his Father down here to you. Someone's getting this.
Hallelujah.
Matityahu 19:14. But Yeshua said, allow the young children, do not stop them from coming to me. For such is the kingdom or the reign of heaven. Verse 21. Matthew 19:21. Yeshua said to him, if you wish to be perfect, go sell all that you have, give to the poor, you will have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now again, I'm staying clear of soul sleep. All right? That's not the issue here. The issue is, does the believer go to heaven when they die? Okay? Is that a Greek doctrine or is it a Hebrew doctrine? That's what I want to tell. I believe soul sleep too. Yeah, I believe the body sleeps until the resurrection. All right? But I believe that there's something greater. I'm restoring heaven's gates. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Matityahu 22:30. Matityahu 22:30. For in the resurrection they do not marry or are given in marriage, but are like the messengers of Elohim in heaven. Notice, in the resurrection, believers are like what? The messengers in heaven. But wait a second, that's in the resurrection. Yeah, but wait a second. Yeshua came to bring us the kingdom of heaven. So which one is it? Hello? He came to bring us the kingdom of heaven. Meaning, heaven coming as our reward. John 1:51. Yochanan 1:51. Is anyone enjoying? Yes. Truly I say to you, from now on you will see the heavens open. Hello? He's talking to all his Talmidim. You'll see heaven open. Well, if I believe that nonsense, that when the believer dies, the body, soul, and spirit go to sleep, the spirit does not go to heaven, then how can heaven be open? Yeshua said, if I follow him from now on, not before in the Tanakh, not before in the first covenant, where they went into Abraham's bosom and waited for Yeshua to rise from the dead, he would descend and preach deliverance to the captives. He said, if you follow me from henceforth in the what? Future, you will see heaven open. You know what those folks do who tell you that the believer doesn't go to heaven? Those folks who say it's a pagan doctrine, you know what they're saying to you? Heaven hasn't been opened by Yeshua. He's not allowing you to see into heaven, and he's not allowing you to lay up treasures in heaven, because he's not going to allow you to inherit the kingdom of heaven. My Bible says, where my heart is, my treasure is. Where my treasure is, my Messiah is. Where my Messiah is, I'll be. Yeshua said, I'm going to the place that I've prepared for you, so that where I am, you can be also. If Yeshua is sleeping in a coffin in Star of David Cemetery, then that's where I'll be. Because wherever Yeshua is, I'll be there. I don't plan on waiting 5,000 years to be where Yeshua is. Yeshua says, I'm going now, after the resurrection. Now I'm going to prepare a place for you. So that where I am now, where is Yeshua now? In heaven. So that where I am now, you may be also. Now, that doesn't mean I don't believe the body sleeps. Absolutely it sleeps. But I don't need that banana peel anymore. You're not going to need that banana peel anymore. Turn to your neighbor and say, you're not going to peel that banana or need that banana peel anymore.
No banana.
Your banana peel is going to wait for the resurrection of the great day and Yeshua's return. Your body is going to need to be resurrected.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now, Yahushua says this in Yochanan 1:51. He's saying, if you follow me, you are my Talmidim, you shall see heaven's gates open. What Jacob saw and couldn't get in, you'll see it and it'll be open. He saw it, but it wasn't open. Because they all died in the faith, not having received the promise. We'll talk about that in a few hours. They went to Abraham's bosom, or paradise. When Yeshua was dying on the tree, the thief said, Master, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Yes. And Yeshua said, today, you're the last one who will be with me in paradise. But when I descend, before I ascend, I will descend, preach the good news to all the Israelites that were gathered to their people. You can't get rid of that phrase in the Tanakh. Everywhere you look, Melech David, Melech Shlomo, Melech Hezekiah, Melech Yoshiyahu, Hanovi Amos, Hanovi Yehoshia, Hanovi Yirmiyahu, Hanovi Yecheskel. These people were alive, because Elohim is not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living. But the question is, we know they weren't in heaven. Yeshua said, no man before my finished work on Golgotha has ever gone into heaven. The question is, they were alive somewhere. That was where? That was in Abraham's bosom. They were gathered with their other Israelites and Hebrews in